Hello, this is Jim Stockstill, bringing you another teaching from the program entitled The Handwriting on the Wall. Of course, the object of this program is to take current events and apply it to Bible prophecy. I want to show you, make you aware of things that are happening in the world right now that relate to end-time Bible prophecy. And I want to correct some of the misinformation that has been given to us, because Daniel was told, seal this up, Daniel, because the end it's not going to be revealed until the very end of time. In the original text, it meant the very last of the days. Seal this up. This is sealed up, Daniel. The end won't be revealed. So there's been a lot of misconceptions about things. And one of the last things, the biggest misconception is that Rome will be your last empire on this earth. And we don't see that right now. What we see emerging all over the world right now is Islam as the last empire of the beast, the empire of the beast. It will be the last empire. They declared war on us. They're the ones that's crushing and stomping and tearing and everything. Before we get into today's teaching, I want to review what I said about the different symbols used in the Bible. Mountains, I said, are kingdoms. Mountains are kingdoms. Waters are peoples or mixed ethnic groups. A head is a kingdom. A woman is a spiritual entity with a literal kingdom and a capital. Beasts are empires led by kings. A name is a declaration of faith, a declaration of a belief, a creed. Fish are followers. A stone or a rock is the Messiah. Trees and birds are fallen angels. Stars are angels. The dragon is representative of Satan. Horns are representative of kings. Snakes are representative of evil or demons also. And scorpions. Remember, I've given you power to tread upon snakes and scorpions, and if you eat anything deadly, it will not harm you. It says, Jesus told his disciples when he sent them out. He said, I've given you authority to tread on scorpions. And that they're demon spirits too. Matter of fact, Jesus said, all power and all authority has been given in my name. Restitution of the authority of man was given to man when Christ died on the cross and ascended into heaven. Adam has lost his control over this whole world, and Satan now was the prince of the power of the air. But when Jesus became the second Adam and defeated Satan and took the keys of death and hell, once again, he put the authority back into our hands, that we would walk as victors, and that this earth would be ours and not Satan's anymore. And we were to take the kingdom by force. We were to take it back through spiritual warfare and things like that. So I want you to remember what I said about the symbols. We talked about Revelation 17. We talked about the 8 empires that would come. And we talked about the 5 that had been, and the one that was at presently, and the one that was to come for a while, and then another. We talked about we showed you wisdom in that. And we named the 8 empires that had been on this earth. We said that the last one right now is rising right in front of our eyes. And you need to open your eyes and you need to see the last empire. And it's even infiltrated into the United States. I'm not going to go there. Sorry. But anyhow, it's infiltrated into the United States. And it's the Islamic empire is the last empire. And it's the empire of the beast. So I want you to, in verse 9 of Revelation 17, it says, here's a mind that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits, and there are 7 kingdoms. 5 have fallen, the other is, The other has not yet come, and when he comes, he must remain for a little while. The beast which was and is not is himself also an eighth, and is one of the seven, and he goes through destruction. Now, he says in verse 12, the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received the kingdom, but they will receive authority as a king with the beast for 1 hour. Their whole purpose, it says, is to give authority to the beast. And we'll see that this is going to be Egypt, Syria, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan. There's going to be 10 kings that are being formed right now, and they're going to stand up and they're going to give the kingdom to the beast, who is out of part of Syria. And so I want you now, I'm going to take you just briefly to Daniel chapter 7, and where he talks about the 10 kings. Now Daniel was written, I don't know, I may be wrong, look it up and see how I am, but it's come close, 500 years before Christ. Now John's written way, maybe 30, 40 years after Christ. It's John's last, one of the book of Revelation, one of the last things that John, the disciple, the beloved disciple, wrote about. So we see a huge amount of history in between the two books. Daniel had a tremendous prophetic ability. He was a great prophet of God. And in verse 23, he says, the fourth beast, Daniel had seen 4 beasts rise out of the earth. Before he was there, there had already been 2 empires, but while he was there, he saw 4 kingdoms which occupied Babylon. All these kingdoms have to occupy where Daniel is from. Matter of fact, Rome never occupied Babylon. They got outside of Babylon briefly, but they never occupied Babylon. So Rome is not even one of these 4 beasts that come up. But anyhow, he says the 4th beast will be a 4th kingdom on the earth, which will be different from all the other kingdoms. It's going to devour the whole earth, it's going to tread it down, going to crush it. As for the 10 horns, same 10 horns, listen to this. Out of this kingdom, 10 kings will arise, and another will arise after them, and he'll be different from them. And he will subdue 3 kings. Now we go back to Revelation 13. Revelation 13, it says the very same thing. It quotes Daniel here in Revelation 13. It says a king's going to emerge and subdue 3 kings. Verse 25 in Daniel, he says he's going to speak out against the Most High and wear down the saints of the highest one. And he intends to make alterations in time, or change times and laws. And they're going to be given into his hands for a time, and a dividing of time. Now, the way that's written in the Old Testament, a time was 1 year, times was 2 years, and dividing time was a half a year. So a time, times, and a dividing time would be 3.5 years. You got 1 time, 2 times, dividing the time, half. 3.5 years. So this will be the 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. It'll be a tribulation that's coming on this earth. We're in days of trouble now, and it'll be at the last, there will be 7 years of tribulation. And at the 3.5 years, into the 3.5 years, the last 3.5 years are when this Antichrist is going to sit down in the temple of God, proclaiming that he is God. And that's going to be in the last 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation. So Daniel had a vision. And also King Nebuchadnezzar had a vision. And Daniel had a vision of 4 beasts climbing out of the sea. And the sea is waters, and waters is people or nations. Daniel's visions, he says the first was like a lion and had wings of an eagle. The lion is always representative of Babylon in the east. Now in the west, it's representative of Great Britain. But in the east, it's representative of Babylon. And we're concerned about the east. But I'm telling you this just for your information. And behold, another beast, a second one resembling a bear. In the east, the bear is always Persia. And Persia right now is Iran. This making sense? This helping you some, I hope? Okay. Now, in Russia is also referred to as a bear. A third, like a leopard. A leopard in the east is always Greece. But some have tried to get in the west, trying to say that Germany is a leopard. But this is a Mideast prophecy. And I kept looking, and behold, in the night vision, behold, a fourth beast, dreadful, terrifying, extremely strong, and it had large iron teeth. It devoured and crushed and trampled down, and the remainder with its feet, and it was different from all the other beasts that was before it. And it had 10 horns, or 10 kings. So out of this last empire, out of this last beast, out of this terrible beast that's different from all the other, it's going to have the 10 horns. And here again, we just explained the 10 horns. It's going to have the 10 horns, and then out of that is going to come the 11th horn, and then out of that 11th horn is going to be the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to subdue 3 of them. Their whole purpose of the 10 horns, the 10 kings, is to give allegiance and give the power to the Antichrist. Now, if you go to to Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 2 is a comparative chapter with Daniel 7. Only this time it's Nebuchadnezzar who has the vision of the statue, and this time Nebuchadnezzar sees the statue as metals, and he sees 4 different parts of the statue. And as Daniel saw it with beasts, he saw it with animals. Nebuchadnezzar sees it with metals. And matter of fact, no one could give Nebuchadnezzar the answer in all of what his dream was. He couldn't even remember the dream. So next time, I'm going to show you the comparison between Daniel chapter 2, which is Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and Daniel chapter 7, which is Daniel's dream. Then we're going to get into it again more into the end time prophecy which Daniel saw some 500 years before Christ. Now, if you haven't received Christ in your heart, I want you to take a brief time and ask Him right now to come in your heart. Say, "Dear Jesus, I confess my sins. I ask you to be Lord of my life. Come into my heart and make me new." If you said that prayer, then God has come into your heart and He has taken up as resident, as King. He will be the one that will transform you. He will change you from glory to glory. You don't have to worry about anyone else. It's God, the Holy Spirit, who comes into us, and we're born again. And your name was written before the foundation of the world in His book of life. And you don't have to be afraid of the things that are coming, but you need to be aware of the things that are coming. We need to get our head out of the sand. We don't need to be an ostrich. We need to lift our head up, for our redemption draws nigh. We are more than conquerors. We are kings and priests on this earth. I want to leave you with that good note. If you receive Christ, write me at the radio station and let me know that Jesus has come into your heart. Write me and let me know what you think about this telecast. Until next time, it's Jim Stockstill saying, keep looking for the handwriting on the wall.